Let's go! It's running back week, and of course today we're going to talk about Armoni Goodwin, 4-star speedster entering year 2 at LSU, and it was kind of a weird true freshman season for him. So first thing, I want you to comment down below, do you believe Armoni Goodwin's going to be LSU's best back? 65 yards on 16 carries for a 4.1 average. But there is a little bit of an asterisk to it because you see this run happening in the backfield. In your background, I believe this was Armoni Goodwin's first carry of the season. And this right here is just really phenomenal running back play. On this pitch play to the left, he makes a safety miss, and he's able to take this for an explosive run. Now, the complicated thing whenever you're discussing Armoni Goodwin is, was he even healthy last year? I don't know the answer to that because he just didn't look like the same running back from high school. And honestly, he was injured during his high school career, and going into this year, there were reports that he was pretty dinged up. And on his very first carry, as you see in the background here, he actually got rolled up on. So the first thing here is right when the ball is snapped, and I know it's pixelated here, we are pulling our center on this pitch play. And quite frankly, we just didn't pull our offensive lineman enough. That's essentially what pulling is. So we're pulling Liam Shanahan, and we're also pulling the left guard on this play, which was Xavier Hill. Actually, the left tackle, Xavier Hill, right here. And you see here, we get a good down block right here by this receiver. We get a good block right here by Jere Jenkins. We get a great seal right here. And Armoni Goodwin, instead of letting this block set up, he actually just sprints past Liam Shanahan. So if you're going to do that, we need you to make this safety miss, and that is exactly what he does. And not only does he make the safety miss, he gets the football on his outermost hand. So that's a really good running back play right there. And then as you see here, he gets rolled up on. So the reason why, and that's just nasty, and I hate to see that, the reason why there's an asterisk next to his name is that he had this phenomenal run, but after this 21-yard run, you take that out, he had 15 other carries on the season for 44 yards. That is less than 3 yards per carry, which, quite frankly, is unacceptable. Boom! I'm looking at you. Yes, you, okay? This is the spicy part. If you love LSU football deep dives such as this one, please hit the subscribe button, ring the bell. We are so close to 7K subs. For those that don't know, during film studies, when we focus on one player, we do draw and bring up a few other players throughout the study. The biggest issue I had with Armoni Goodwin's runs, okay, was somebody always was screwing up, okay? He would have really good blocking, but one player would screw up their assignment, and in this case, it was Cam Wire. Cam has a little hitch right there, and he allows Ford to rip move underneath and blow this play up, okay? But what I want you to do is watch this, okay? This was something I saw Armoni Goodwin do. He would just kind of run into guys when right there he did have a little cutback angle for him to fight through. Now, I do give Cam Wire some credit for still hustling on this play, but if you bring it back right here, okay? Now, we won't know this because Cam blew this block really badly, but I would have loved to have seen if Goodwin would have seen this cutback. Boom, okay? You see this alley open itself up. So, yeah, I mean, that's tough. I mean, that's really, really tough because 4 is right there. Maybe it's tough. But the thing is, everything else is blocked perfect. Like, we could not have blocked this perfect or more perfectly across the board, right? The only person who didn't do their job was one person. And, look, everybody's dominating their man. Boom! I'm looking at you. Yes, you, okay? There's no way we would have skipped out on Armoni Goodwin's runs versus Alabama because he's from Alabama, and we all remembered the last time a number 22 was in Tuscaloosa. Let's go. So, of course, he's not going to be Clyde Good at this point. And Tom Luganville compared Armoni to Clyde Edwards-Helaire during the spring game broadcast. So, as many of you know, Clyde made every right read you possibly could make. And freeze it right here. It's pretty clear that this B gap is being destroyed because Chasen Hines couldn't block Tim Smith here. So there's nothing here where the play is designed to go. Okay? However, Ed Ingram is blowing his guy up. I mean, this is just filthy run blocking. So if you're a runner and you see a surge right here, you kind of just have to feel this out and get as vertical as you can. And if you do, and you get square, you might be able to see a cutback angle that's forming right here, okay? Now, this is an extremely difficult cutback angle right here. And I'm not asking you to just immediately shoot this way. But if you would have gotten vertical, you would have gotten a few extra yards. Instead, you just kind of run into the arms of this defensive tackle for a short gain. But the sign of a good football player is learning from your mistakes. And there's a lot of pressure. Brian Kelly, of course, watching the spring game from behind the line of scrimmage. And watch what happens here, okay? The same exact predicament is here. The near same exact play. Just a handoff out of shotgun to the right, okay? Bryce Langston, this is actually one of his better snaps of the spring game, is dominating the right guard Spencer Payne here. And you notice, just like what you saw a minute ago with Chasen Hines, the DT is in the gap that you're supposed to go through. The issue, though, is, guess what? Ali Gay is right here to sandwich you as well. So last year, Armoni Goodwin would have just ran right into this guy. But no, he cuts back and he gets as vertical as he possibly can. And this time, he's got to make two people miss in this hole right here. Micah Baskerville right here, and he scoops underneath him. I can't show you that part because, well, something almost happened. Ali Gay does a good job hustling to eventually make the tackle, but you saw what happened. Instead of just running right into the DT, you got vertical and got some extra yardage, and little Joe Burrow versus Mississippi State situation happens. That's some really, really good running right there from Armoni, and learning and maturation as a runner. It's difficult stuff, but that's really encouraging. So here's Peets and Mangus. Obviously, a big differentiator for next year is you're going to have Brian Kelly, who's been one of the best offensive line coaches in the country. So we have to run against this. It's 2nd and 6. They have a really light box. Basically 5, 6-ish guys in the box. So we're going to run to the outside, and this is actually a really creative run. We're pulling the guard to the right to make the linebacker think we're running to the right. And you see this linebacker has a false step, and now we have our fastest running back, Armoni Goodwin, with a clear edge right here. And what you're going to see here is Jack Besh was an amazing blocker for LSU. He actually flattens this guy, and Armoni Goodwin now has to make this safety miss, and look at what he does. He does just that. That's a really good piece of running, and then he runs this edge corner over. Safety, whatever, who had contained there. If you go back to Armoni Goodwin's high school tape, his vision actually is really, really good, and in his high school offense, he ran a lot out of shotgun. So he's got a lot of experience with runs such as this one. Now, one quick thing about Armoni Goodwin is last year he had the worst broken tackle percentage out of any running backs with at least 15 carries, which obviously isn't good. But at the same time, he had the lowest yards before contact. So what that means, both those stats via SEC StatCat, was, yes, Armoni Goodwin only broke 2 tackles all season long as a runner, but at the same time, he wasn't really given that many opportunities to actually break these tackles. Boom! I'm looking at you. Yes, you. Okay, so if you stay till the end of the video, I always give you a few extra nuggets, and today we're going to talk about Armoni Goodwin's size, and of course we're going to show you his touchdown run from the spring game, okay? So you should go back and watch. Trust me, I spent over a month on this video talking about running back weight, not only at LSU, but in the SEC. And if you watch it, you'll see that LSU just hasn't had a lot of lighter backs have success in the more modern era in the SEC. Now, of course, LSU had Dalton Hilliard and Kev Falk. They were both under 205, but still, it's been mostly heavier backs that have been the dominant backs. And Armoni Goodwin is only 198 pounds per the LSU profile, which is really tiny. One quick little thing about this run right here, Armoni was out of bounds. You see, it looks like that foot is down right here. It's a spring game. I don't really care. But I want to shout out Mekhi Gardner. He had an amazing spring game. This is some ridiculous hustle to prevent this touchdown. You see his foot is out right there, and I think if he had a pylon cam view, he wouldn't have gotten in. But that was actually really good by Armoni to not stretch the football out right there because that could fumble and lead to a touchback. So that was some really good running to get the edge. Either way, though, Armoni Goodwin's size is a little bit of a concern, but it also really isn't because he's not going to be the RB1. It's going to be John Emery and Noah Cain. Honestly, Cain and Emery aren't really his competition. Those guys are going to be duking it out to be the RB1, a.k.a. the early down back, whatever you want to call it. And I do think Brian Kelly would like Armoni Goodwin or Tre Bradford to be a piece of the offense. I think it's going to be hard for both of those backs to be a piece of it. I do think Goodwin has some stiff competition when it comes to Tre Bradford, when it comes to those next level of touches. And you see right here, Tre Bradford showing some real explosiveness, breaking off some arm tackles. This play was really well blocked, but you do see some explosive play ability. Tre Bradford, of course, in the recruiting class before Armoni Goodwin, is a little bit older and, of course, has that extra year of experience. They're about the same rating when it comes to recruiting, and Bradford is a little bit bigger. So Armoni Goodwin, I mean, that's going to be, to me, his stiffest competition. I mean, you saw him make that guy miss a little bit earlier in the hole. Bradford had some really good runs himself. So coming up, we do have a Patreon account that we're going to be launching where we get into a deeper Armoni Goodwin film study along with Tre Bradford, where we really discuss not only their running ability, but also their ability to catch footballs out of the backfield. Pass protection and all of that, that's going to be key as well. So, you know, we'll see if either one of those guys could be the quote-unquote third down pass-catching back. Maybe that is Noah Cain because, like we mentioned yesterday, he does have some good pass-catching ability. So be on the lookout for that. Obviously, I'm really, really excited about this running back room, and I'm really excited about where we are going with running back week. Once again, this play was just so well blocked. Good job by Cam getting to the second level to help free this up. Good block right there on Guillory from Charles Turner at center. So we'll see. Now, get in the comment section. I hope you guys are having an absolutely phenomenal day. If you are watching this on a premiere, we will be starting a live stream pretty soon. Some kind of juicy stories out there in the sports world, so we will be touching on that. Okay? It is Power Hour LSU. Boom! Floating in your face are some running back week pieces of content. And tonight, let's get on them chicken wings. Let's go.